principle. Number one, to increase this productivity, the first thing that you need is adequate exposure. Adequate exposure. Adequate exposure. What is exposure? To me, exposure is the act of deliberately subjecting yourself to the influence of a person or a situation. Deliberately subjecting yourself to the influence, to an influencing person or a situation or a circumstance. Am I right? This is exposure. When you expose yourself and you subject yourself to an influencing situation or person, there are several things that happen. Number one, the benefit of exposure, you are inspired. You are inspired. Number two, you change your perspective. When you are exposed, you are inspired and you change your perspective. Now, that one is very serious. I'm moving in a very summarized manner because time is not on our side. The second thing that you need, the second element of productivity that you must have to sustain productivity in all season is the art of, increase the art of creativity. Art of creativity. Your creativity must go up. Our creativity must go up as principles. When you're dealing with the people, you've got to understand how you're dealing with them. Now, creativity, what is it? Creativity, it is the art of using old ideas. Old ideas. It is through imagination. The power of imagination. You are able, that's creativity. The reason why I say they are old ideas, because if they are new ideas, that is not creativity, it is innovation or invention. But here, it is none of the two, it is creativity. And have you ever known you are born with your own creativity, you are born with creativity? Yes, you are born with a lot of creativity. By the time you were saying that, graduation square there, we were full of creativity. We were as creative as you would ever imagine. But 35 down the line, tell your neighbor is another story. Of another day. Yes, of another day. Creativity does not die, but you either use it or lose it. We were born with it. We were born with that ability of being creative. That is why you see watoto wakifika age fulani wanaanza kucreate. Naona mtoto hajaambiwa na mtu, anaanza kuwa na katoto ambaye anashika. Nani alimwambia? Hakuna mtu amemwambia, ni yeye amejiambia. Because there is that creative nature. Mwingine sasa inafika wakati, unaona huyo kijana, uangalia, ametengeneza ile kitu inaitwa mubara. Unaona mubara? Mubara. Karaudi hivi. Na anaweka kijiti hapa katikati. Na anaendesha. Am I right? Yes. What is that? Who tells you? Who tells the children, now stop that one, now go to this one? Nobody. Nobody makes the schedule in them. And I know you did it. Looking at me, my brother comes with their age 40, they talk about committing suicide because life is unbearable. Then my question is, what has happened between that level of creativity and this time? The creativity has gone down, am I right? So creativity is very, very important. We either use it or lose it. It can be expanded. You can build your creativity through practice. But I want to let you know there is some creativity that is given by God to specific people. Specific people. That creativity, you can't share it with any man or any person. The last thing, not the last one, but the third thing is competence. I'm summarizing competence. A sense of competence, and I know this one we have it, but let's check it. It is a combination of skills and experience together with knowledge in order to accomplish a given task. There are three things there: skills, experience, and knowledge. In order to accomplish what? A given task. Now, when you talk about competence, it has to do with what we call the giving of results. And not only results, but standardized results. Everybody says standardized.
Standardized.
Yes? I want you to look at that. To this. It's not just results. In a particular school, it's not just results. It is what? Standardized. That is, results that are not fluctuating. They're not high, too high this year, and then too low. They are standardized. There are several things that results can do. Have you ever known that you can never argue with the results? You can argue with somebody's background, level of education. You can even argue with the gender. Am I right? But one thing you can never argue with is results. Now, when they're not forthcoming, then realize that things are becoming very serious. It's a level of competence that it is there, but some people are not using it to bring down the result. The fourth one is connectivity. I have summarized greatly. Connectivity, it is a good of the land. The good, the Bible says that we shall eat the good of the land. Now, what is it that is happening that we reach a point we cannot enjoy the good of the land? It's because sometimes we are lacking this point here. The element of connectivity. Now, is that staff room that you have, the supportive staff, you know their whole number, the BOM, all that population of stakeholders. I would like to let you know that if you go to the book of Exodus chapter 18, chapter 8, is it 18? Yeah, I think it is 18, where Jethro has come to visit Moses. Am I right? And how does he find Moses? Handling almost everything, collapsing at a very heavy schedule. What advice does he give him? Delegate. Delegate. Now, too much. Now, there are those people that you have. Every leader, everybody say every leader, has human resource. If God has called you to be a principal, He has given you an assignment. There are several people that God has given you. Allow me to elaborate them. The first group God has given you. This kind of people, you have to identify them for yourself. There are people that we all know, they are called destiny helpers. The first group, destiny helpers. If you could listen here, these are people who assist you to do the preliminary of issues. Preliminary. You can underline the word preliminary. There are people who handle the preliminaries. You have a meeting, you might go to a meeting, and we are already in an AGM. The meeting has started, but there's something that is not yet there. It's called the budget. The budget, it is when it is being done. In a particular, in the middle of the meeting or at the end of the meeting. Because somebody has not been able to do that. There is a group of people God gives every leader. Who are those? According to your notes. Who are those? Destiny helpers. They help you to do the play. Number two, they coordinate areas. They coordinate areas that the leader may not have enough time to coordinate. All these will work out for the deliverance of adequate results. They enable the vision bearer, who is the leader, to have enough space in the mind. To have enough space in the mind. When they have taken the preliminaries, they create space in you, in your mind, to think of other issues. However, they need a lot of motivation. They need a lot of motivation. I may not have to go so much. Destiny help us. Here, a man ni mwanaume. When I mean a man, I mean a mwanaume. A man is basically blessed to have a destiny helper in the name of a wife. According to Genesis 2 verse 18, the Bible says it is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper. We are only adding destiny. But she's a helper. So that is why when a man reaches home, anakaa tu, anaketi tu kwa kiti, chai inafanya nini? Chai hailetwi, inakuja.